Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a genuinely profound journey into a true ancient spiritual classic. We are looking at the Hermetica, the lost wisdom of the Pharaohs. This text is a wild collection of writings attributed to Thoth, the mythical ancient Egyptian sage whose wisdom was supposedly so vast it actually transformed him into a god. The ancient Greeks were literally so in awe of this that they identified Thoth with their own god, Hermes, giving him the title thrice great. And look, what we're about to explore here isn't just some dry, dusty history. It's a vibrant and shockingly relevant framework for understanding our universe, our origins, and really, the very nature of human existence. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how this ancient prophecy accurately mirrors our modern, disconnected world. Hermes, speaking from the deep, distant past, is lamenting a future where pure philosophy would just be lost. He predicted a time when people would literally stop seeing the universe as a source of wonder and where spirituality would be dismissed by clever intellectuals as just primitive superstition. He foretold that Egypt, basically the metaphorical home of spirituality, would become a desolate place. When you look around at our modern predicament today, where we often feel so alienated from the natural world, his words feel incredibly, almost uncomfortably prophetic. So that brings us to a massive question, one that modern science wrestles with constantly. Are we just a creation of the laws of nature? Like, is all of this just some random mechanical accident? Hermes explored this exact mystery millennia before modern astrophysics was even a thing. And as we're going to see, his answer completely challenges the way we traditionally separate the spiritual from the scientific. Well, Hermes answers that profound question by stating that spiritual philosophy and science are not actually opposed at all. In the Hermetic view, studying the natural laws, measuring the depths of the sea, the forces of fire, the complex mathematics of music, is actually an act of devotion to the Creator. When you study the sciences, you aren't just crunching random data, you are uncovering a universe perfectly ordered by the power of number. Science to him is quite literally the study of divine architecture. Section 1. Adam and the Cosmos, the origin of everything. Now, as we explore this incredibly structured Hermetic view of how the universe came to be, I need to clarify a definition right off the bat so we don't get mixed up. When Hermes refers to atom, he's absolutely not talking about the tiny physical particles of modern physics. No, atom, spelled A-T-O-M here, is the ancient Egyptian name used for the supreme one god or supreme mind. Think of it kind of like the number one. The number one is the root and source of all other numbers, right? It remains constant, undivided, yet it generates everything. Atom is that core oneness that subsumes all the separate fragmented parts of reality. Guys, this is where ancient mysticism and modern science completely collide. Hermes experienced this wild, mystical vision of creation where an all-embracing divine light cast a shadow, kind of like dark, rustless water. This light and energy slowly cooled to become the black womb of space into which planets and suns were born, ordered by a calming word or blueprint. This bears an eerie, striking similarity to our modern Big Bang theory, doesn't it? Where an initial explosion of energy cools into space, governed by the fundamental laws of nature. Thousands of years ago, Hermes was describing the exact same mechanics of creation. Let's move to and see how this builds through an incredibly logical, almost mathematical hierarchy of creation. Step 1, Adam, the supreme source, creates the cosmic mind, which is the permanent ordering principle. Step 2, that cosmic mind organizes chaotic matter to create the physical cosmos. Step 3, the cosmos creates time to regulate itself. And finally, step 4, time creates change, which is that ceaseless process of living and dying that we experience every single day. It's just a beautifully structured cascade from the eternal source all the way down to our changing reality. Now, just wrap your head around this mind-bending paradox for a second. God is the creator who creates himself. For Hermes, Adam makes everything, and because everything is a part of Adam, he is essentially making himself. Plus, creation isn't just some isolated event that happened billions of years ago. It is a continuous, present action. Adam is constantly creating creation, right now, and will literally never, ever stop. Section 2. The human paradox, our dual nature. So, what does this vast cosmic structure actually mean for us down here on Earth? Well, Hermes describes humanity as a beautiful, totally necessary, but deeply conflicted marvel of creation. And this brings us to the core of our human conflict, our twofold nature. On the one hand, we possess an immortal soul. This part of us is connected directly to Adam. It's pure mind, infinite, divine, and totally free. But at the exact same time, we are enclosed in a mortal body, made of physical elements, bound by destiny, constantly changing, and ultimately mortal. We are this unique, incredible meeting place of a mortal spirit and mortal matter. We're higher than the purely mortal beasts, yet we're born as absolute slaves to destiny. So the crucial point is that for Hermes, nothing in the universe is dead. The cosmos is completely saturated with soul. The life force infused by Adam permeates literally everything. The universe isn't some cold, empty vacuum filled with dead rocks. It is a gigantic living being that constantly generates and nourishes us, its parts, just like a parent caring for its children. Section 3, Destiny and the Zodiac, the Cosmic Mechanism. All right, this brings us to the celestial forces that govern that mortal half of our human paradox. To the ancient Egyptians, the constellations and planets weren't just burning balls of gas floating in space. They viewed the zodiac as a secret mechanism perfectly designed to control the earthly fate of humans. This mechanism is ruled by the goddess Destiny, who sows the seeds of necessity. These forces basically operate through the visible planets, the planetary gods, administering destiny to everything on Earth. Think of them as the giant gears of a cosmic clock that constrains and shapes our physical lives. Let's break down how the zodiac actually pulls this off. Hermes makes a brilliant distinction here between universal forms and particular forms. Universal forms are permanent, like all of us share the universal quality of being part of the human species, right? But the zodiac ensures that through its constant rotation, each of us is also a completely unique, particular form. Our individual bodies, our temperaments, our specific fates, they're constantly changing and utterly unique based on this incredibly complex celestial mechanism. Section 4, Rebirth of the Soul, the Seeker's Solution. Okay, let's dive into this, because this is where Hermes actually offers us an actionable solution to our earthly imprisonment. We don't have to just be permanent victims of fate. Because we're tied to our physical bodies, we suffer from what he calls the irrational torments of matter: ignorance, grief, lack of self-control, endless desire, injustice, and greed. These are the heavy chains that bind us to suffering. But Hermes teaches that there's a cure. All of these torments can be driven out and replaced by one ultimate thing: pure understanding. By fundamentally changing our awareness, we literally change our reality. Hermes pleads with us, with this incredible urgency, to wake up. He explicitly calls the physical body a cloak of shadows and a portable tomb. He wants us to stop identifying solely with the meat and bones of our physical existence. If we only think we are our bodies, we're going to suffer the exact fate of our bodies: decay and death. We have to remember our true, immortal nature. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal of the Hermetica. For a man cannot become a god whilst he believes he is a body. Spiritual rebirth isn't some magical spell you cast. It's simply the profound realization of your own divine, mind-based immortality. When you use the power of your mind to commune with the cosmic mind, you basically detach from your mortal nature. You realize you are not the body. You are the immortal soul housed right inside of it. I want to leave you with a final, pretty provocative question today. Will you remain a captive of matter, just tossed around by the torments of life and the cold mechanism of destiny? Or will you heed the wisdom of the Pharaohs, seek your own spiritual rebirth, and awaken your immortal mind? The choice, according to Hermes, is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.